What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? 3 what's up for this special episode because it's Wednesday. It's a special episode of the Doop OR DIE Podcast. It's the midweek episode. I'm promoting this as if like this was planned. I was in Miami last weekend, so we decided to do it now on Wednesday. But we got a lot to talk about, and I think this is going to be exciting. Midweek episode.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Drew, what's going on?
What's up, man? You guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching again. If you're still watching, let us know down in the comments or on Twitter. You guys can, find us on Twitter. But every episode we make, bro, is special. I'm just saying, okay?
if you're watching, I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but I'm wearing a special kit today, a very special kit. We're not going to talk about what the kit is. Well, actually, we are going to talk about it probably, but see for yourself on the State of Soccer Philadelphia channel. Check that out.
You're going to see how fly it looks.
Well, if you're listening, I thank you so much for listening to this podcast. You're still awesome. But Drew, let's talk a little bit about Philadelphia Union. How all of a sudden, now that they're out of CONCACAF Champions League, the U.S. Open Cup, they're surging.
That's right. Yeah, in the league, since they got knocked out by LAFC in that game we'll never talk about again, they have gone on in the league to beat the Red Bulls, to beat Colorado, to draw against DC in a really tired schedule, and then come home and freaking destroy New England, one of the stronger teams right now in the Eastern Conference and in MLS. So they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty hot right now.
They're looking really hot right now, and they're doing what we expected the Union to do. They're doing what everyone in MLS, every coach, every team, every owner expected the Union to do with the roster that was returning, essentially the same as last year. So why has it taken so long? Why is it now that they're starting to seemingly peak or move towards where we believe the Union should be?
I think what you said earlier, now that they're out of CONCACAF Champions League, now they're out of the U.S. Open Cup, even though they're not playing their starter players, there's still the whole team in general traveling and training for that. It's still a big toll. And in one of our first episodes, we talked about Jim Curtin, played a little voicemail while him talking about the congested schedule for the Union. Now it's kind of out of the way. Now it's mostly just MLS games to focus on. So they can put all their eggs in that basket right now and make up that points to get into the top half, to secure playoffs for, later on in the season.
Yeah, that 3-0 victory over Bruce Arena's New England Revolution had me shocked because when we did that episode 3, we talked about this match in particular, and I thought this would be the match they would drop at home on the backside of a couple away victories, one against Colorado, one against New York. I thought they would actually defeat DC United midweek and then come home or remain at home, but potentially drop that match to New England. I was wrong, completely wrong.
Dude, we were both wrong because I was nervous too because of just how tired the team was. Having the midweek game against DC, New England had no midweek game coming into this game against Philly. So I was like, it all looks good for New England right now to at least get a point away from home at Super Bowl Park. But the Union played okay, I would say, against DC and then lit it up at New England. Gazdag scoring 2 goals. Carranza, I believe, scoring the 3rd goal. So nice 3-0 win, man. And that was a blowout, I would say.
Put some respect. I want to say something. You mentioned played okay against DC United. Put some respect on Wayne Rooney's name. I gotta be honest. For DC, they're not stellar this year, but to come back from where they were last year, if you remember, the Union smacked them 7-0.
Yeah, it was like 13-0 over 2 games. It's wild.
It's brutal. So what do you think Wayne Rooney's been able to do? You think it's just Wayne Rooney being Wayne Rooney? You think it's Benteke? Do you think it's a couple other massive players for DC coming through?
I think it's a mix of everything. I think Wayne Rooney's now having some games under his belt with the team. He's starting to understand who the strongest players is for him, where he can play people. He's starting to understand the tactics. He's slowly becoming a better manager as he goes. He's still really early into his managerial career. And of course, I think Christian Benteke is a big boost to the team. He's in pretty good form right now. He's always a threat going forward. So I think that helps Rooney out and, of course, helps the team out. But not against the Union, baby, because we held them.
Yeah, we held them. We picked up 3 points against New England. So, enough of that. The Union are treading in the right direction. And now we head away. We head on the road to a baseball stadium. We head to Yankee Stadium to play NYCFC, who, Drew, you made a great comment before the start of this show that we've won the last 3 matches against NYCFC.
Yes, the last 3 games have been pretty solid wins for the Union. We started in March 2022, 2-0 win away from home, then a 2-1 win at home, and 3-1 win at home again. And now this time, I expect another 2-0 win away from home. I think New York City's FC has been struggling this season, kind of a lower half of the table. They are, I think, like 10th place or something like that. So
right now,
they're not having the strongest season, not the most confident season, not as bad as like, Toronto or something, but still enough for us to defeat them, I would say, easily away from home, especially after that game against New England. Also, we have a whole week in between that. There's no midweek game for the Union. That's what I was trying to say.
No midweek game right now. We do, however, play on the back of that match, even though there isn't a lot of travel. When you're traveling up I-95 to New York City, it's not that far to the Bronx. We have Charlotte at home on that 31st. So two teams that are neck and neck in the standings, NYCFC and Charlotte neck and neck. Key players for NYCFC, I believe you said it before the season, Thales Magno.
That's
right.
Really
talented Brazilian. What do you think we can expect from him?
Some nice ball juggling skills, some nice skillful movement, and maybe some goal threat there, but I think the Union's defense will have enough to kind of stall him. I did pick on my channel, if you guys follow me, Kicking It with Drew on the YouTube channel, I did pick him as New York City FC's best player this season. Before the season started, I picked, best player from every team. I think Thales Magno has potential, I think, to be their best player. And he's actually, fun fact, I think he is the only 5-star rated MLS player in FIFA.
I believe he is. Wrong. I believe he is.
5-star skill move. Like, that's awesome for MLS player. Like, and he's so young too. So he's got a lot of potential. I'm sure New York City fans would want him to stay with the team a couple of years because he's got a lot of promise to him. But I think we can shut him down.
He's 20 years old from Sao Paulo. Another Sao Paulo player from Brazil, NYCFC has is Gabriel Pereira, who played for Corinthians, who is 21 years old. Massive signing for NYCFC.
Yes.
Too skilled. He's attacking midfielder. Also duels as a winger. It's been pretty good for NYCFC so far, as you'd expect, coming from a club like Corinthians. I know you said it's going to be easy. It should be a win. It should be a win for the Union. But when you have players of this skill, anything can really happen in a match, especially on a baseball field or a field that's kind of dimensions are a little bit off. It's a little tricky to play at Yankee Stadium.
You can just say it's ugly. It's ugly you can't make a baseball stadium. I'm glad that they're actually going to make their own stadium because that's such a disrespect for the league. I would say it's so ugly.
Yeah, it's kind of disrespectful to everyone involved. I mean, it's disrespectful to NYCFC. It's disrespectful to the Yankees in a way because Yankee Stadium's a cauldron. It's it's not the original Yankee Stadium, but at the same time, it's still the New York Yankees. They're a massive brand,
historic team.
Historic team. I mean, they're the Real Madrid of baseball, I would say. So when you look at it that way, it's disrespectful to everyone. So it's glad that they're moving to Queens. They'll play at next to Citi Field and have their own spot up there at Willets Point, I believe it's called, right up. Take the LIR. I know way too much about this, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to some away days at NYCFC.
Yeah, especially with their new stadium, that'd be really cool. I wouldn't mind traveling either to experience that stadium live if the Union plays away in New York City. So incoming vlog in 2 years.
Incoming stadium tour we got to do together.
We got to do it, man.
That'd be pretty tight, honestly.
You know what we could do? We could probably do let's visit. We visited every single MLS stadium.
Just a road trip. We take off from work for a month and just
drive
to every MLS stadium. It's not a bad idea.
That'd be awesome. I got to save $20,000, but we can do it.
Yeah, we can do it. So Thales Magno, Gabriel Pereira.
Yep.
They have some. You look at their team. Matt Freese, the Union former backup goalkeeper, local guy, Harvard grad. He plays for NYCFC. We have Richie Ledesma. We have James Sands. And Keaton Parks. James Sands, Richie Ledesma. Those are all USMNT.
Some good young talent. They got some good young talent in there. I think maybe that's why they're not as strong this season as they should be. and they got a younger squad. And they actually haven't won their last 4 games, 3 losses and a draw coming into the Union game. So their momentum compared to the Unions is total opposite. So we should win this game pretty handily, pretty easily.
So what's your final prediction for this one? Because you're convinced that the Union are going to drop, or the Union are going to win this one.
And if they lose, then you guys can blame me, but they're not. Okay, it's going to be 2-0 away from home. We're going to grab a corn dog on the way out.
Yeah, former Nacional player in Uruguay, Santiago Rodriguez, another 23-year-old. So we have a 21-year-old Brazilian. You have Uruguayan.
Yeah.
Those are other star players for NYCFC. That South American talent, South American flair. Let's see. It's going to be a skillful match. It's going to be fun to watch. And I think that the one thing about NYCFC, maybe they like that close quarters, small field, small pitch. Some of that dribbling ability, that technique, it's needed on a pitch like that. I think it's going to be an ugly game, though, because I do believe the Union will step up defensively. So we'll see.
I agree. We can do it. So what's your prediction?
I'm going to say 2-1 Union on the road. I think it's going to be a Glesnes banger like we haven't seen all season long so far. In the 82nd minute, Drew. In the 82nd minute.
That'd be awesome. Just to win it. Nice winner like that.
It's extremely specific, but that's what we're going to see on Saturday, May 27th.
Let's do it.
NYCFC.
So what about the game with Charlotte? Let's talk about that quick.
All right, then we're home against Charlotte. That's an interesting match because Charlotte's been inconsistent all season long. Mm-hmm. They do have some decent talent. What do you think? What do you think about this match? I mean, give me the prediction up front and then kind of explain why.
Prediction up front, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a closer and tougher game than New York City. But if we're at home, I mean, we did draw against DC at home. Charlotte is not as good as a DC, I would say right now. But I would say it's going to be a nice 1-0 win. Very slim Gazdag penalty to win it.
Interesting. And Charlotte is playing a lot of matches right now. They're playing as we speak, as we talk right now. They're in the US Open Cup, Birmingham Legion. We're not in England.
And by the way, if you're watching US Open Cup, you guys should all be rooting for USL teams, man. Because I do when they're playing. For sure. Okay. Come on. Pittsburgh Riverhounds and then Birmingham. Let's go. Birmingham Legion.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Shout out to the Riverhounds. Actually, yeah. I was being weird and I was watching US Open Cup stream, which isn't weird. That's not weird, but it's just like
I was just watching before we came on the podcast.
And I was commenting, "Let's go Hounds," and guess who jumped in? Who jumped in and responded to my comment? No other than Philly Rovers himself. That guy's everywhere.
Oh my God, he's everywhere.
Shout out to Philly Rovers. But yeah, huge Hounds guy. He's been out there. I've seen him in a vlog. And right now they are up on Columbus in the round of 16. Damn.
There we go. That's what we need. And Birmingham right now is still holding Charlotte 0-0 at home.
Let's go Hounds. It's actually Highmark Stadium is one of the most beautiful stadiums, best views, at least the best view, I think, in arguably all of United States sports. Maybe PNC Park, their baseball stadium has a better view. But I did a vlog of that on my channel. But I'm a huge low key Hounds supporter. So let's get this done.
There we go. We got to support the lower division PA team, man.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of potentially a road trip in the future if they advance to the next
I'll
round.
To Pittsburgh. Let's do we can do a nice little video. We visited an USL stadium or something like that.
I mean, this is a big deal. This is round of 16, then they go to the round of 8. We're talking about what would that be technically, the quarterfinal at that point, right?
Yeah, so quarterfinals after.
They're home right now against Columbus. So that's a little bit of a backyard brawl, a little bit of a rivalry. Columbus, Ohio, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, if they it's 71st minute, so they got 20 minutes max to hold out and win this thing. I'm gonna see if Columbus has a strong team right now. They don't really have a strong team out.
Also, they can figure out when Pittsburgh, the next round, if they'd be home or away. I'm curious about that.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Because Drew, I think we make the trip out there. I'm kind of saying it. I'm kind of putting ourselves out there. I guess it'd be 100%. Midweek. It'd be midweek, but I could maybe work remote, swing it.
I wish I could work remote.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I have to call out, dude. But it's worth it for the views, man, for the fans.
It's worth it for the fans. I said that. I'm actually I should have said it a little bit more not sarcastically, enthusiastically. It's worth it for the fans. As you can tell, I'm tired, guys. It's been a long week in a good way, and it's only going to get even better with these matches coming up for the Union.
Heck.
So, Drew, new topic: the jersey. I don't want to keep talking about myself. I sound like a psychopath here, but long sleeves, Venezia. My buddy was just in Venice a couple weeks ago. That was my one request. He had to pick me up a couple jerseys.
Nice.
So Venmo him on the spot before.
Thanks for hooking me up, by the way.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was, he did me a favor. I think his girlfriend wasn't having it. He snuck out of like the hotel room and took
to go buy your freaking jersey.
Yeah. So he really stepped up. And yeah, this is the long sleeve version. And trivia question for you: what Union player went on loan to Venezia?
No, come on, man. Jack DeVries.
Yep,
I can't say this guy's name.
Jack DeVries. Yeah. So Jack DeVries went on loan. No longer on loan now, though. He's playing in Finland. He's now playing in Finland.
In the Finnish league, but he's not finished yet. All right, now it's my turn for your trivia question. All well, not trivia, but your opinion question, because I'm going to make a video on this if you guys are listening. MLS rivalries. Since rivalry week just kind of wrapped up, whatever, if you want to call it that. But who, in your opinion, or what, in your opinion, is the best MLS rivalry, in your opinion?
Oh, if this is going to find its way, I'm kicking it with Drew in one of the videos.
Right, I'm going to put it in the video. So
this is an interesting question, because I could say the typical LAFC, LA Galaxy, Seattle Sounders, Portland Timbers. Everyone's gonna say that. I want to be a little bit original here. I don't want to say anything that's not true. I do think an underrated rivalry, because it's an MLS original, despite the name change of the New York Red Bulls from Metro Stars to New York Red Bulls, is Red Bulls DC United.
Oh yeah,
I don't think
that's
enough.
A classic. That's like one of the first.
It is, but it gets a little bit overlooked. I think just because DC, obviously, they have their MLS Cups. The Red Bulls don't. Red Bulls have a couple Supporter Shield. DC's history has been better than the Red Bulls, but it's kind of been that I-95 Classic that I think gets overlooked. I feel like there's a lot of attention paid to the West Coast of Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
When really, I think
the East Coast kind of like the
about the East Coast of MLS, the OG. Yeah. You could throw Chicago in there too. I'm going to take claim of Chicago, even though it's 100% the Midwest. So, but still, if it was to choose a side and fight and battle, I think Chicago would pick the East Coast. For sure.
Yeah, but I think East Coast has a lot of good rivalries. I think it has a good one building up too. I think especially the way Cincinnati has been playing recently. I think there's Cincinnati Columbus. This is hell rivalry. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the name of it. That's just weird, but. If it lives up to that name, dude,
what's the name again?
This is hell, right? This is hell rivalry, isn't that?
It's just it's a strange name. Yeah.
I don't like that. How about this is a rivalry? Or I don't know. That sounds better.
I'm gonna poke some fun at some rivalries too. I just think there's one thing that MLS, and you can put this in the video potentially. MLS just has to let the rivalries happen. I think recently in the past couple of years they've been doing this, but you can't create the narrative.
No,
it's superficial.
Just from being local doesn't matter. Doesn't count.
Just because they're local. I also think LA Galaxy and San Jose is overlooked. I do. I do think
that was like the original California derby.
The Cali Classico. Yeah. We might
now they've forgotten about. I think maybe because San Jose is not as good as they used to be, and I don't know, but. It doesn't matter. I feel like when you play your rival, they always give you some kind of like a hard game. Like it's a difficult game because it's a rivalry. You guys hate each other. A
little bit of a bump too, right? Like mid-season, some intensity in a league that doesn't have promotion and relegation. You kind of need that mid-season. That's not also a slap at MLS. It's just the truth. They have to get up for something to keep the intensity levels going.
They need something to kind of to motivate them to win more than they usually want to win.
Yeah. I hate the whole Atlanta versus Charlotte thing. Everyone keeps trying to push that. People keep trying to push Orlando and Atlanta due to proximity.
I never liked it either. I was like, that's stupid. That makes no sense. Georgia, Florida, I get it, right? Atlanta, Georgia, yeah. But
Yeah.
still, like, I don't see, like, first of all, Orlando's not as good as they were when they first pop onto the scene when they had Kaká. So, like, Atlanta is just, I don't know. It just makes no sense. Like, for example, like LAFC and the Union, because of the whole MLS Cup, drama and stuff, and now CONCACAF Champions League, now I feel some type of way about LAFC as a fan, because I'm like, you know what? You knocked my team off. Now our fans start to hate your team because of the results that happen to our team. So that's how you build a natural, authentic rivalry, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of these teams are new, right? These are franchises that are, some of them less than 5 years old.
Yeah,
So it takes time to grow. Now let's talk about two cities that, if they had, maybe one has a USL team, maybe one has an MLS squad, pick a rivalry that doesn't exist. But in an optimal world, if there was an MLS squad in both cities, do you think it would be a rivalry? That's kind of a strange question. I don't know if I phrased that correctly, but you kind of
say that again. So you said, like, if there's a what rivalry I can build myself.
For example, like Detroit City Football Club.
Yeah,
they have great fans.
Hell yeah.
Would Detroit be a massive rival of the Chicago Fire if they played in MLS? Like, what's a USL team currently that you think there would be an inherent rivalry if they were to step it up into Major League Soccer? It's a tough question.
USL. I think a good one would be, we just talked about them, but Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I would love to see a good PA classic, a PA rivalry, Pittsburgh versus Philly, because we have that already. What, in like NFL, the Steelers and the Eagles,
Yeah, but they're not really like Phillies Pirates used to be rivals. I mean, Steelers Eagles, they're like not. I think that there could be a place for that, like a East and West Coast, the Keystone Classic. The Keystone Classic.
I like that.
Maybe a little Harrisburg, Pittsburgh Riverhounds action in USL. I don't know. I'm just thinking of some different.
What about the Tampa Bay Rowdies in Orlando? That would be actually good. They're both in Florida, but like they could like beef it up on the sunny beach.
Yeah, Tampa Rowdies, as well as I mean, there's also the Fort Lauderdale Strikers as well.
Yeah,
and Inter Miami. A little Lottie Dog.
Yeah, I forgot about Inter Miami. I think what I like about USL teams is that they have such better names than MLS teams.
Well, those are classics too.
Exactly. Those are the OG, like just original names. They're not doing FC or Inter or United. It's just like, Birmingham Legion or Tampa Bay Rowdies.
What about the old NASL clubs? What were some of the best names? Like the LA Aztecs were kind of solid. I thought that like the Philadelphia Adams sucked personally. I didn't like that name.
I'm blanking.
Well, I guess some of them are.
They became MLS teams, right?
Well, the Cosmos. I think there's a place for the New York Cosmos in the ecosystem of soccer here, and it bothers me. But
the Cosmos. That's when they had Pele, by the way, bro.
You can think about little Cosmos NYCFC rivalry. Once NYCFC has their own place.
Especially because the Cosmos was the OG team. You know what I mean? Like that. They go way back.
They had like Pele. Cellini, not Cellini. No, what was the guy's name?
The Colombian guy?
No, they had Carlos Alberto from Brazil. They had Pele. They had Giorgio Chinaglia, who was like played for Napoli and he scored more goals than Pele for the Cosmos. Damn. And they had Shep Messing, who is like the Rebels announcer now.
Didn't some NASL team have Frank Beckenbauer or something?
Frank Beckenbauer, I believe. See, this is where we're gonna get called out by someone. Let's check where Beckenbauer played, because I think Beckenbauer was the Cosmos. I'm almost positive.
That's what I think too.
I know that George Best was LA Aztecs. Like there were some like really high level players. I know at the time the Cosmos traveled and did a whole European tour, similar to how European teams toured the United States. You're correct.
No, MLS, like just like world, like USA Soccer in general, had some really iconic people come around before MLS was even born.
Franz Beckenbauer not only played for the New York Cosmos between 1977 and 1980, he loved it so much he came back in 1983.
Damn,
couldn't get enough of that New York, the Big Apple. Yeah,
that's awesome. He went back to Germany. He played in Germany, came to New York, went back to Germany, and then came back to New York. and finish his career there. That's
Absolute
awesome.
legend. Absolute legend.
Yeah, freaking Bayern Munich legend too.
Johan Cruyff also played in the
What?
NASL. A lot of people don't realize
dude,
that
there's
Cruyff,
so many players who played for.
I believe Cruyff played for the Diplomats in DC, which is a very underrated fact. I think a lot of people forget that Cruyff played in the United States.
Yeah, I didn't even know that at all.
We're fact checking right now because sometimes we just say things off the cuff. But I think I'm right about this.
You don't want people calling us out.
You know what? Not only similar to Franz Beckenbauer, Johan Cruyff played for the LA Aztecs in '79. So this is Cruyff's career. Born in Amsterdam. I don't know why I said it with an accent. I have no Dutch family or anything. Born in Amsterdam, played for Ajax from 64 to 73. 73 to 78, he was in Barcelona.
Baby.
79, the Aztecs scored 14 goals in 22 appearances. I don't think at that point he was playing with George Best. Then he went to the Washington Diplomats. That's a good team name. The Washington Diplomats. Left for Levante and then came back again to the Diplomats. And then left again and played for Ajax in Feyenoord. Scored tons of goals.
Dude, rest in peace, Johan Cruyff. What a freaking legend. I can't believe you freaking played in this country. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people might not realize that. But yeah, this has been kind of a random episode of Doop or Die.
If you guys like it, let us know. We'll do more random chats like this at the end.
Sometimes some random chats are much needed, especially when we're midweek. We're waiting patiently for these matches to drop.
Yeah,
these games to happen.
That's right, man. It's gonna
Any
be
other
good,
questions you would ask me? Anything else random?
I don't know. I'm done. I'm gonna ask you when you're done with that shirt because I want it.
I'll sell to you. I'll sell for over the price, even though I took the tickets off.
Word.
Damn. Well, guys, I want to hear from you. A couple things, a couple questions. Best NASL original team name, best rivalry
in MLS.
Let's say North American soccer. You know, I guess even Canadians can even chime in with the Canadian Premier League if you want.
We'll allow it this time.
Yeah. We can let them talk if they're listening. I highly doubt there's any Canadian listeners, but if there are,
shout out.
Yeah, shout out to you. Those are a couple questions. And then if you listen to this or get to this before Saturday's match, comment your prediction below for the NYC and Charlotte match. We'll pin it if it's correct. And maybe even I'll send you my shirt. I don't know.
See that, guys? See that? You better comment.
I don't think that's going to happen. All right, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys. This was fun. This was a good episode.
Drew, where can they find you at?
You guys can find me on Twitter at KickingItWDrew or on YouTube at Kicking It with Drew.
Kicking It with Drew. And once again, guys, this is the State of Soccer Philadelphia channel. I'm Brian McDonough, and this is the Doop or Die Podcast, episode 4. You can find us on Spotify, Amazon, all those good places, as well as YouTube, of course. And with that, let's let the scooter man himself play. And good luck. Go Union.